पैसा क्लीन हो जाएगा और इसमें ट्रांसपेरेंसी के दो लिम्स होंगे कि जो देने वाला होगा उसके अकाउंट्स में रिफ्लेक्टेड होगा उसने कितने खरीदे हैं, और पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को भी ये डिक्लेरेशन देना पड़ेगा कि मुझे कुल योग टोटल कितना इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड मिला है। ये एक सुधार है। इसमें और भी कोई सुझाव आते हैं इसको लागू करने के बाद तो उसको हम लोग सोच सकते हैं।
Free and fair elections in India. Is that really a reality anymore? In the bustling bazaars of Indian politics, where whispers and transactions blend as seamlessly as chai and biscuits, the topic of electoral bonds has sparked more debates than a family dinner during cricket season. But ever wondered how this impacts you, sitting at home scrolling through news between work breaks? The dance between money and elections isn't new. It's as age old as the pyramids of Egypt. Think about the lavish election campaigns in the US, where dollars flow like the Ganges in monsoon, setting a global benchmark for big money in politics. Electoral power, even in principle, holds the belief that power truly belongs to the people. But what becomes of power when its source remains cloaked in shadows? An informed choice at the polls is the bedrock of democracy, shaped significantly by what we know or don't know about who funds our political parties. From the narrow by-lanes of Varanasi to the bustling streets of Mumbai, every political banner fluttering in the wind has a price tag, a testament to the visibility and recognition it seeks to achieve. These banners don't just sell candidates, they sell narratives, sculpted carefully by those who hold the purse strings. And where does this money come from? Primarily from businesses whose influx of funds in politics clouds our access to unbiased information. As the nexus between businesses and political parties strengthens, ideologies and policies become as flexible as a yoga instructor, bending to appease those with the deepest pockets. The stark reality of political funding is as such. Imagine a world where your childhood dream of becoming the Prime Minister feels as distant as Mars, not because you lack the vision or integrity, but because your pockets aren't deep enough. The current trajectory of political funding is paving a highway for a future riddled with nepotism, where money and power gatekeep political participation. It's a world where the common man's voice is drowned out by the clinking of cash, and new political entities representing the aspirations of the youth struggle to break through the iron curtains of financial muscle.
मुझे बताइए ऐसा क्या किया है कि जिसके कारण मुझे सेटबैक हो? मैं पक्का मानता हूं जो लोग इसको लेकर के आज नाच रहे हैं और गर्व कर रहे हैं, वो पछताने वाले हैं। मैं जरा पूछना चाहता हूं इन सभी विद्वानों को कि 2014 के पहले जितने चुनाव हुए, चुनाव में खर्चा तो हुआ ही होगा ना, बिना खर्चा नहीं। कौन एजेंसी है जो मैं बता पाए कि पैसा कहां से आया था, कहां गया और किसने खर्च किया है? क्या ये तो मोदी ने इलेक्ट्रॉनिक बॉन्ड बनाया था, इसके कारण आज आप ढूंढ पा रहे हो कि पैसा बॉन्ड किसने लिया, कहां दिया, कैसे। वरना तो पहले तो पता ही नहीं था, चुनाव का तो खर्चा होता था।
Here you very rightly saw. Our Prime Minister points out that we're witnessing who donates how much to which party. But there are two pieces of the puzzle missing from this picture. First, this transparency is a courtesy of the Supreme Court's whip, forcing the SBI to spill the beans on electoral bonds. Before this directive, your right as a citizen to know who funds your prospective leaders was as effective as a chocolate teapot. Secondly, the critique isn't that political funding mechanisms were flawless before electoral bonds. The concern is, why aren't we reviewing and debating the impact and implications of such policies, particularly such an important policy that was put into effect in 2018? The echoing question remains, did electoral bonds change the game for better or worse? And why is it that policy reviews, a fundamental aspect of a dynamic democracy, seem to be as rare as a blue moon? The essence of this issue isn't just about transparency in political funding. It's about ensuring that democracy remains by the people, for the people, and not just for those who can afford to bankroll it. The core feature of the electoral bond scheme is the anonymity it grants to donors. While designed to protect donor identities, this has raised significant concerns about the potential for undisclosed influence on political parties and their policies. Critics argue that this anonymity compromises the democratic principle that voters have the right to know who is funding political parties. The Supreme Court's interventions here are extremely important. The Supreme Court of India's directive to disclose details of electoral bond transactions highlights the judiciary's concern about the scheme's transparency. The apex court's insistence on transparency is a testament to the critical need for openness in political donations, ensuring that voters are fully informed about the sources of political funding. Let's look at it globally. We have looked at the US, but many democracies have stringent regulations on political donations emphasizing transparency and accountability. For instance, Scandinavian countries have robust systems ensuring that all political donations are public, allowing voters to see who is financing political campaigns. This perspective underscores the importance of transparency in maintaining the integrity of democratic processes. Data from the Election Commission of India shows a dramatic increase in election expenditure over the past 6 decades, with costs per constituency escalating almost 274 times between 1952 and 2014. This exponential growth in election spending underscores the pressing need for a transparent political funding mechanism, highlighting the vast sums of money influencing Indian politics. A study that was conducted by the University of California, Berkeley across Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Jharkhand reveals that a significant portion of politicians' incomes, especially high-level incumbents, comes from untraceable sources. This trend is alarming as it suggests that political influence and power are increasingly concentrated in the hands of those with substantial financial resources, potentially sidelining the interests and the voice of the ordinary citizens. Now let's look at who gave money to whom. Recent disclosures have shed light on the flow of funds through electoral bonds, revealing significant contributions from corporations to major political parties. These contributions often exceed the donors' net profits, raising questions about the motivations behind such generous donations and their implications for political influence and policy making. For example, Keventer Food Park Infra Limited, with donations over 150 times its profit, illustrates an alarming trend where companies invest heavily in political influence, predominantly benefiting the BJP. The disparity between the company's profit and its political contributions suggests a potential expectation of favorable outcomes or policies. The Quint here reported that at least 15 companies donated more than their financial capacity through electoral bonds. This trend indicates a possible strategic investment in political goodwill, potentially compromising the impartiality of political decisions. Then we have the MKG Group's extensive donations to the Congress, TMC, and BJP, reflecting a diversified political investment strategy, possibly aimed at ensuring favorable treatment regardless of the ruling party. This pattern underscores the transactional nature of political donations, where businesses hedge their bets according to the political spectrum. Navyug Engineering's donations, despite significant financial losses, points to a complex relationship between corporate interests and political funding. Their involvement in key infrastructure projects suggests that political contributions might be viewed as a necessary expense for securing government contracts or favorable policies. We have another one. IFB Agro Industries' donations to TMC and RJD highlight the strategic regional investments by corporations aiming to influence local political landscapes and decisions. This regional focus emphasizes the nuanced strategy of businesses to shape political environments at both national and state levels. The disproportionate influence of wealthy corporations on political parties poses a threat to the democratic principle of equality. When political influence can be bought, the interest of ordinary citizens may be sidelined and will definitely be sidelined in favor of corporate agendas. What this means for you, again, I would like to reiterate. For the average voter, these developments underscore the importance of demanding greater transparency and accountability in political funding. The integrity of democratic processes is at stake when undisclosed donations can sway policy decisions and governance. It highlights the need for an informed electorate that actively participates in the political process, questioning and holding leaders accountable for their financial associations. The path forward must involve reforms to ensure that political funding mechanisms promote transparency and limit undue influence. And there is a huge need for strengthening disclosure requirements, setting limits on debt donations, and enhancing the regulatory framework for political funding as critical steps in restoring public trust in the political system.